Hello everyone, my name is Refilwe Mogale and I am the founder and CEO of Miss Bachelorette South Africa, which will soon turn into Miss Bachelorette Global. So Miss Bachelorette South Africa is the only pageant that is focusing on women that are not married, aged 25 to 50, are mature and are independent. And I just want to get this out of the way because this is like the one question that I always get to say, why Miss Bachelorette South Africa? Why did you come up with this? And the main reason was, firstly, I am very passionate about women empowerment. And I saw this platform as the pageantry and modeling platform as an opportunity, for me to fulfill that void, of wanting to make sure that women are being empowered. So now I looked into the industry and I've always thought, but I also need to come up with a pageant that is unique because as we all know, we have so many, pageants that are existing across the world. Lwandle,
Goodness.
it's so good to be sitting here with you.
It's so good to be sitting here with you.
7 days after you being crowned?
It's just 7 days. And I still can't believe it. I was so excited.
Each time I see your face, I'm taken aback to the day, the moment actually, when I put the sash across your chest. And there was a time when you said, "It's me." And I felt like, this woman needs some kind of, confirmation that yes, it is being put across my chest.
Wow.
How do you feel?
I am ecstatic. I mean, extreme disbelief. I think with that, it's just because I'm so happy to be selected. I'm so happy that the team of judges were able to feel my heart, to see the drive that I also want to do. I've always said that I resonate with what Miss Bachelorette South Africa stands for. And I know that almost every contestant will say that, even across the world when contestants are asked questions and how they resonate. And for me, I really wanted that to be clear and to be seen that it's actually what I would love to do. I want to take part in it because I do want to see change. And with that, when I was selected, I said, this is an opportunity to be a part of such a game changer in the world. So I was so excited when I was saying, wow. I still am. I don't think it will change right now. I still keep checking my crown. Like, is it there? Yes.
Anyway, let's delve into... It's a pleasure. Let's delve into Miss Bachelorette South Africa as a project.
Yes.
In my introduction, I mentioned how I am passionate about women empowerment. And this is something that I have shared with you guys from the semi-final stage up to now, having you as our crowned queen. Now, I want to leave it to you, for you to tell everybody who is watching this, how Miss Bachelorette South Africa is directly linked to gender-based violence.
Your statements are clear about women empowerment and also assisting children, making sure that you empower children. And you made me understand that it's a direct connection with children because if you empower a child in future, as a child grows, they are empowered. They don't need to, they won't have to get involved in a gender-based violence sector and be, abused. There will be things that they know from a young age that, I got to make sure that I'm financially independent. I'm independent mentally. I got to make sure this, and that so that they don't catch themselves in corners like that. So for me, when I saw that being written clear, online with Miss Bachelorette South Africa, I knew this is the pageant that I want to enter. Women are the ones who are highly affected by gender-based violence.
Without a doubt.
Yes. Yeah. And the perpetrators are highly the men in numbers, even if you calculate. So, I had to see that and understand that and tell myself, I want to be a part of this because I want to see the change with regards to gender-based violence. I want to make sure women are empowered. With information, with knowledge. So with the career that I'm in, I saw it fitting because then how do you do it, Lwandle? How do you empower?
Exactly.
Miss Bachelorette is doing it already because we come here, you inspire us. We have conversations on, women being uplifted, changing the form of you not feeling good enough just because maybe you've been divorced, or you have a child and you're not married, and you're at an older age and mature age, and you're not in a space where the world says you should be.
Yes.
By now you should be married. By now
You should be.
yes, you should have kids, married,
Yes.
So when I saw that with Miss Bachelorette, I knew that the field that I'm in will definitely assist, because women need to be empowered to have a financial set in their names.
Yes.
So with me, I saw jewelry designing and manufacturing would be a great platform to just teach women, have them have a skill that they won't even need someone, to help them financially, because it starts there, and Miss Bachelorette South Africa was emphasizing on it, that it actually does start there. And I, as a single woman who have gone through things in life, I know that has an effect on women. So for me, teaching a woman a skill that will carry her financially was a solution.
You have mothers who are kind of living their lives through their daughters. Some daughters stay in abusive relationships because they want validation from their mothers. They want their mothers to now say, okay, yes, my daughter is now married now. I feel I'm proud of her.
Yes.
You know how as a daughter, you graduate, you become a professional, you become successful in different fields and everything. And yes, people celebrate, but then at the end of the day, your mom says, well done, my baby. Now when you get married, if you get married, then it's done. Now I know you are a grown woman. You are. Do you understand what I mean? How do you feel about such kind of thing? And what do you think we should do to deal with it?
It's giving me goosebumps as we're talking about it, because it's completely real and it doesn't get old. The more you talk about it, the more you realize that people are still living in a stressful place. For me, having lost my mom at a very, very young age, I had a lot of hoping or thinking maybe if she was still here, maybe life was going to be even more flowery than it is. But then I also feel for my sisters out there who still have their parents, who receive the constant abuse from their parents. Obviously not saying that when you have a parent, you're going to struggle a bit because now your parent is going to do this. No, parents should not do this. It is not right that mothers or fathers or aunts or uncles or grandparents do this to children, because, you then obviously put a woman in a space where they can't get abused, because now they are fulfilling the parents' desires and dreams for the child. They're living through their child, and for them, it's such a big deal that they should get married. So for me, I would just say it's good that we have Miss Bachelorette South Africa as this platform where we can speak to the majority of women, not only the contestants, the ladies that enter, but also the audience, the people who are watching, the parents, the family that the ladies come from, and straight all down to the grandparents, the mothers, to say, hey, what you have been taught, because I will assume it's what they will be taught as they were growing, because they were once a child and they grew and they saw a norm. They saw what is called a culture, that in every family, when you get children, eventually your children are going to grow, graduate, and get married. So we are actually talking to a wide scale of people, mothers saying, mothers, stop with pushing your children, your girl child, to marry. Stop pushing them to do things that are fulfilling just for the eye of the community. It must be a real relationship. It must be done accordingly, not because there's a culture that needs to be followed. Because culture then kind of confuses people from actually knowing why culture was created. Because at the end of the day, culture was a routine that was set at that time when it was created for the benefit of the person saying it. So for me, I would say, allow your child to be themselves. Allow your child to be educated, because you don't also want to lose your child at an early age, because depression is killing. It can have you get sick and die at an early age because you're trying to please your parent. So it's important that parents stop with pushing women to get married, even if at that time the woman is not even ready. The parents are ready, but the woman is not ready. That's why we find a whole lot of cases with women in marriages that they are not comfortable with, they were not ready for, but as long as mom is smiling every day, I come home.
Then it becomes even more heartbreaking when you find a situation where, yes, the daughter is married and then she is abused. she tries to go to mom and say, Mom,
I'm being abused.
or my sister or whoever or grandmom or whatever the case might be. And then they say the famous phrase. They say,
Begazela, hang in there.
hang there. Nobody said
it happens to everyone.
Yes, it happens to everyone. Don't look at people, don't look at couples holding hands, smiling and everything and think they're not going through that. We need to be strong. As women, yes. The misinterpretation of Imbohodo, you know.
Yes.
As women, we need to be firm. This other day, I was having a conversation with my niece, and she were having this conversation about women and abuse and everything, and marriage, and she was saying, you know, there's this saying that Mosadi utara tipa ka bohane, meaning directly, loosely translated, a woman holds a sword on the sharp side.
Oh, goodness.
And she was like, why am I supposed to hold the sharp side? Because there's a handle.
Why am I meant to hold the sharp side?
Yes, it's a misinterpretation of all these things and everything. We miss the fact that it does not mean that you must forget about yourself. You must not prioritize yourself. Yes, you have to be there as a parent. If you have kids, you need to be strong for your kids. Yes, you need together, if you have a partner, together you must be the pillars of your family. Together. And for me, that means you must hold on together and stand against the devil. Stand against the enemy. Do you understand me?
The outside noise.
The outside noise must find you as a unit. You must not become each other's noise.
Well, because I guess we're now in a space where we've figured out that the problem comes from far. On how our parents were brought up and what they saw. Because maybe they didn't have a sit down and make sure you tell your child to marry at this age or whatnot. Maybe they just saw that happening. They saw families or neighbors or the community carrying it that way. So I guess now we are in a space, you know, where we need to start unlearning things. We need to start unlearning things. Be ready to unlearn things. Unlearn, because all of it is culture that created, you know, separately. And with it, when you see that this is not working, this is abusive, this is not helpful, nothing says you must hang in there. So we're in a space now through Miss Bachelorette South Africa, who's emphasizing on women empowerment, women equality, and making sure that women know to, you know, be firm with who they are. Not by allowing people to force you to do things, you know, for their own benefit. We're in a space where we need to unlearn the fact that women need to suffer for things to happen. Our moms need to unlearn the fact that the child must get married at this age. You know, we all as a household, from grandparents going all the way to the youngest child born, we need to unlearn abuse, keeping quiet about abuse. You need to sleep if it's abusive. You need to get rid of it if it's abusive. You need to unlearn that section of you feeling abuse is okay.
And also, and also I think we need to clarify the fact that Miss Bachelorette South Africa is not in any way discouraging people from getting married. We are not in any way against marriage. We are not saying marriage is not a beautiful thing. Marriage is beautiful. But all we are saying is people must learn to get married for the right reasons. When you speak to your daughter, especially at the rate that this pandemic is going, it's increasing every day. It's crazy. So instead of focusing on get married, let's rather focus on be independent. You are not saying somebody should not get married. However, you are saying make sure that you are self-sufficient, so that should you find yourself in an abusive marriage, in an abusive relationship, it will become a little bit easier for you to remove yourself from that situation. Because can you imagine yourself in a situation where the provider is the abuser? If you have, you know, a parent or a family member who then says to you, then you know that all of that gives you with no choice but to go back.
And by all means with me, Professionally, I'm a professional goldsmith. I make jewelry. And of course, we go in the forefront with pageants and events where we are able to come and speak with women. What we're saying as Miss Bachelorette South Africa is we are here to empower women.
Yes.
We're not here to say, this is the course you can do. This is your qualification. This, you fit there, you fit there. We say, you know, the dream that you had as you were growing, that you want to be something. You want to be a doctor, and you want to be a lawyer, a teacher. All those kind of dreams, those are the dreams we are encouraging you to fulfill. So that even when you decide to get married, the marriage finds you ready and not financially dependent and not sure about even who you are.
Yeah.
You know, we're not saying by all means that we know what needs to happen when you get married and all these things, but we're just sharing that we are here to empower women to find their goal, to remember what they always wished and desired and dreamed of, and encourage that to nourish women. And the reason why we're even speaking with children is that so that at a young age you have a dream and desire, so that you won't be caught in the corner taking whatever a person says you should be. Like, you should get married at 21. You should get married at this. You should find a man. You know, no one is even teaching you, a man? Oh, okay, what is a man? How do you treat a man? How does a man treat me? How must a man treat me? How must I treat him? So they put you in the corner that you yourself may even come in unsure, unready. Maybe you yourself would be, you know,
exactly
the problem is the situation.
Yeah.
So we're just saying we are encouraging people to be independent for marriage to find you lady. We are discouraging the idea of abuse, gender-based violence, even from households, from the parents, because it starts there. Surely start. Imagine leaving the house knowing that a man shouldn't abuse you. You shouldn't get in a relationship if it's not serious, if it's not about the true love and decisions that you'll make, but only about a financial set. Imagine leaving the house knowing all of that. It's highly unlikely that you might find yourself in a place where you're in marriage and you're not financially ready.
So as a married woman as well, we are saying, find yourself. Have a life outside of this man. Yes, you are partners, you're there. Hopefully you are in a very happy marriage, but you must not forget to be an individual in this relationship.
Find yourself.
Find yourself.
And I know, like with Miss Bachelorette, they hit the nail right in the corner, because in between having pageants that cover young ladies and cover married ladies, there was this big gap. You know, as you shared in our very first interview, which you just made it so clear for us, and it was so uplifting. And I'm so happy that this is going all out, that people actually get to hear this. Because for me, when I entered the pageant, from a person who enjoys being in pageants and taking part in it when I was younger, now, you know, as I've been sharing it, it's for a more mature readers. So entering this pageant, what stood out for me in the beginning when you were explaining, you shared that it's to empower you even after whether you are divorced, even after that didn't work and you left with a child. You know, you're still a human being, you're still a woman, you're still complete, you still have a lot to offer, you still have a lot to give, and you've got this love that is created in you that you're still in place to sharing it with the world. You're not outcasted, you know. So you definitely, as in especially in South Africa, you found such a powerful gold space, a gold mine. Wow. You found a gold mine that you dug in, and that's what Miss Bachelorette is doing going forward. You know, so we're digging in this gold mine, full of mud. But it being gold, it never changes its form. Even if it's covered in mud, and people have been walking over it, or it's been all the way deep. But the fact that it is gold, you are reminding every woman, including myself, that with that, you are still a gold mine. Gold will never compete with another material.
It is gold. It knows what it is. It knows what it is. That's why it would not compete.
It's because material
knows what it is. So you need to know what you are and who you are. Know your worth. If you love your sister, if you love your daughter, and they come to you and they're saying, I am going through an abusive relationship, when you say to them, Begezela, do you love them?
I hope this is a great eye-opener for anyone who's listening. It's a healing. I'm sitting here and we've spoken with you so often. It's important to have these constant conversations, because every time you spoke, I still cried. And it wasn't because you're repeating the same, you're touching the same nail again, but you're healing every part of my, whatever I'm going through at that time when you're sharing. And then we don't even realize that we're going through
things. Exactly. What do we say to or about women who are financially independent? Some of them are actually even making more money than their partners, but they still stay in an abusive relationship.
My goodness.
Think about that.
Then you know that it's not even on the term of finances right now. It's all internal.
Yeah.
It's the teaching, it's the culture.
Yes.
Go back to the culture. People do not want to disappoint their families. And even just saying that I don't want to disappoint my family. I know I don't want to disappoint my families. But what is disappointing my family?
Exactly.
I would say disappointing my family would be not living my ultimate goal and dream and not being happy, because you don't give birth to a child to see them suffer.
Exactly.
You don't give birth to a child to see them unhappy and just being in a space where you can see it's affecting them in all kinds of ways. So to me, I know I would have done my family proud by doing that. Of course, it comes with a lot of benefits, making sure that if you're financially set, you come and surprise them and spoil them and do all the works. But disappointing your family would be you being in a space where you know you don't want to be there. You know you're not happy, because your happiness should come first. It's a family and you connected with love. And love says that I need to make sure you're happy. It's like, oh, Refilwe, you're having this interview. Are you happy?
Yes.
Are you happy with it? You see, now I know that you are in a good place. But if it was a space that you weren't comfortable to share this with, then I'd be worried as a family and say, this is not good for Refilwe, because, you know, I wouldn't say just be here as a family member. So I know a lot of women put themselves in spaces like this, even if they're financially okay, because they don't want to disappoint family.
Yes.
But also there's that notation of, say, a woman does not want to be alone. You know, when you say you don't want to be alone, then shows that your fulfillment, you've now drawn into the culture of you got to be with the man to be happy. Yes, that's another thing. You don't want to be alone. Okay.
But then also, what is your description? Yes. I'm coming to that, because I wanted to say, what is your description of being alone?
Being alone. You have time, you're not at work, go for a spa. You know you love picnics.
Yes.
Go for it. Go take a seat, you know, set yourself up. The colors you like, mix it together. The food you like to eat, set yourself up. There are so many things that are laid out there in the world that you can do as a woman. I was just saying to my friend that I don't wait for a gentleman to buy me flowers. Oh, I buy flowers every 2 weeks. Whenever I can, I buy flowers. You know, and I told Refilwe, one of my finance friends who was number 2, I told her, I said, this is the new thing after winning. I'm going to be carrying flowers everywhere I go. So there's no time to be bored. There's no time to feel, oh, what else? There's no void over, okay, since I know I'm a single woman, there's no void over, okay, we need to close that. Because then you put yourself in spaces with a man who's probably not ready to settle, whom you haven't discussed where they're going, because now you don't want to be alone. You know, I mean, I came out to Johannesburg and I'm all the way in Cape Town. You know, you come here and you booked out, you know, all the contestants, we were all booked out, and you could have just said, oh, so what do? I'm alone. Call your friends. There shouldn't be that thing of, oh, when you have fun, it's you gotta have a man about a man. It has to be about a man.
I think it also does go back to knowing yourself. Know yourself, because then when you know yourself, nobody can come and tell you who you are and what you are. And knowing yourself is you taking time for yourself. Do you know?
Understanding yourself.
You know, even professionals, even counselors, and whatever the case might be, psychologists and everything, they always say, take time to revisit yourself.
Wow.
And if you are not passionate enough about yourself to be able to sit and say, this is me, this is what I love, and I am going to concentrate on me. I thought to myself, I love this industry so much, I need to be creative enough to come up with something that will give me a platform for me to live my dream through for a lifetime.
And you did exactly that. and I'm here today. And the fourth of your queen.
You are the fourth.
It's like the fourth year going.
Exactly. If you really want to continue being empowered, you need to remember that empowerment comes with challenges. There is nothing that can empower you, yet it doesn't come with challenges. So even when sitting here, being the founder and CEO, a proud founder and CEO of Miss Bachelorette South Africa, and also proudly and firmly saying that it will soon turn into Miss Bachelorette Global, it does not mean that this journey doesn't come with challenges. Yes. You have no idea how much I spent sleepless nights. You have no idea how much I knock on doors and the doors are locked. Yes. Or sometimes you knock and once they see that it's you knocking, they lock. But what do? I knock next door. I don't stop. I don't let that pull me down. I don't become discouraged. I started Miss Bachelorette South Africa. Zero budget. Only when you knock on doors, only when you start making efforts, those doors will be open. And sometimes some doors are just closed, they're not locked. We're building a community as well of women who can be role models to other women out there, but then also can be a community of women that are helping each other stand stronger, stand more firmer, and the more firm you are as a community of women, other women will keep joining you. And the more they join you, the bigger the community of empowered women we are building.
My goodness.
And that's exactly what we're really about. I appreciate having you as our queen. And I know that going forward, you are going to help us achieve our goal of making sure that we fight against gender-based violence as much as possible, and femicide as well, for women, for children, and for men as well. Because we need to make strides into making sure that we speak to a boy child as well. Because when we say that they are perpetrators, for as long as we don't speak to them, they'll grow up to become perpetrators. So we will always be fighting against someone whom, if we were to also help them in one way or the other, we could find ourselves eventually helping a better society and not having anything to even fight against anymore, because we all will be soldier on.
Because I know people would simply just say, oh no, but you're focusing on this. You're not focusing on the depth of why.
Exactly.
You need to tackle in order to get to the bottom and things. So it's so good that we are in this space, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. I'm happy that you're happy to have me as a queen. You always ask yourself as a contestant, am I doing enough?
Are they going to be here? Yeah, and am I going to be capable of carrying out the duties as well?
The encouragement, the support is so powerful. It's immense. So for me, I'm firm about knowing that I'm covered by a team that is empowering, that is there for me already. And I feel strong enough to take on this journey and empower women.
And I'm happy that you're putting emphasis on some of the things that I've heard you mention, I've heard you speak about in your interviews. Exactly, because then the more you hear somebody keep on saying that, and I can even read it on your face, how passionate you are about what you say. And that's exactly the kind of women that we are looking for in this project. Thank you so much for joining us on there. Hopefully someday we will have another session, this kind of a session, and share more with everybody out there about Miss Bachelorette and what it's about. Bye-bye.